I'll begin by reading the public notice that was published in the paper. Public notice is hereby given that the Board of County Commissioners of Bonneville County, Idaho will meet on the first day of September 2021 at 2 p.m. in the Commissioners' hearing room, Bonneville, 605 North Capitol Avenue, Idaho Falls, Idaho, for the purpose of considering and fixing a final budget and for making appropriations to each office, department, service, agency, or other institution and fund for the 2021 and 2022 fiscal year, at which time any taxpayer may appear and be heard upon any part or parts of said budget. Money to be levied includes a foregone amount not to exceed $360,000 and $606 for the use of an extra pay period during the fiscal year. Reasonable accommodations will be provided upon request with disabilities to attend and participate. Persons requiring special contact the County Human Resource Office at 529-1340 during normal business hours prior to the beginning of the year. The following table sets forth the amounts proposed to be appropriated to each office or department in 2022 fiscal year, together with the 2020 and 2021 adopted budget and the actual expenditures for salaries and wages, benefits, and other expenses during each of the two previous years by said offices or departments to wit. Those present today at the hearing are all three commissioners: Commissioner John Walker, Commissioner Bryon Reed, myself, Commissioner Roger Christensen. The way we'll begin by having our budget officer, who is our county clerk, Penny Manning. She has a brief overview of some of the highlights and things, including some of the proposed fees that we're dealing.
I need to pick up Aurora Walker.
We need to mute Bryon Walker, it sounds like. Okay. Anyway, so if you want to go ahead and just either speak loudly, or if you don't.
I'll come up here because I don't talk loud.
Okay.
Okay. All right. For those who aren't in attendance here, I did give a little handout. I'm just going to kind of go through. As part of the 2021-2022 budget presentation, we wish to include a brief explanation of the process. The department heads, the budget officer, and board of commissioners have closely reviewed all of the county departmental budgets by line during the budget period. This process has allowed the Board of Commissioners to give management and control input as we assess the needs of the county for the upcoming fiscal year. The adoption of a workable budget, which adequately funds required county needs, follows a thorough scrutiny of detailed budget line item requests, as many of you sitting here know. Budget highlights. The budget for 2021-2022 will increase by approximately $2.1 million for fiscal year 2021. There, 2022 is what the year is supposed to be. Most of this increase is a result of a salary study that the county has been taking care of and engaging in with the help of our HR department to find out where our salaries are for our current employees. Added to the budget, not only are the increases necessary to keep our employees at a market level, but also new employees required for county. I just want to say that we as Bonneville County leaders value the employees and recognize service that comes to the taxpayer as we are able to retain those employees through competitive wages. All of our county funds are stable for the year. The expected revenue from property tax, miscellaneous projected revenue, and available cash balance will be adequate to support the proposed budget. The proposed budget reflects a 2% cost of living increase for all, a 2% scale adjustment for all non-certified employees, as well as funding per step increases for all Bonneville County employees. In addition, as Bonneville County continues to monitor our self-funded health insurance policy, the premium will remain the same for the upcoming fiscal year. The health insurance for county employees will continue to be paid at 100% by the county, as well as 70% of the insurance costs for family members. Vision is also included in the coverage. The county does save on money on health insurance costs by being self-funded. Continues to be paid at 100% for county employees and family members. Bonneville County will continue to pay for basic life insurance on each employee in the amount of $50,000 death benefit and $50,000 for accidental death and dismemberment. Spouse and children have limited coverage as well. An employee assistant plan is available to all employees and is covered at 100%. It is proposed, we have a few fee increases that we are proposing, motor vehicle admin fees and several out-of-county landfill fees. There is just an attached copy here. I'm not going to go over those. If anybody wants to see a copy of those, email me and I can send that on. There are two fees. The landfill fee will increase from 65 per household to 68 per household, and the Swan Valley Irwin Palisades area hauling fees will be increased from $7 to $78. Several new positions in the budget presented are a result of new legislation, as well as the increased needs of a growing county. Offices receiving funding for new positions include the Assessor's Office, Coroner, Courts, Information Technology, Sheriff's Office, Planning and Zoning, Prosecuting, Attorney's Office, and Solid Waste. While the overall needs of a continually growing county like ours increases each year, the Bonneville County levy rate for this coming fiscal year will show a decrease to the residents of Bonneville County. We do want to take this time to thank the elected officials and department heads for their significant efforts to submit very reasonable and responsible budgets to the commissioners. We believe that the budget we are proposing for fiscal year 2022 will achieve our goal of reducing the previous year's property tax levy amount while continuing to provide the citizens of Bonneville County with the kind of excellent service they are accustomed to. We also want to express our appreciation for the employees of Bonneville County for their outstanding contribution to the county and community, and compliment them for their outstanding work. At this point, do we want to ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we open the floor to comments as it's stated in the advertisement for any taxpayers, employees, department heads that have any questions, concerns. If you're online participating and wish to participate, you'll need to unmute yourself. Speak now or forever hold it. Well, is that the wrong ceremony? Okay, it doesn't look like there's any. I think Brooke Manning has done a very good job of preparing an explanation so everybody knows. Let me reiterate what was mentioned in there. We appreciate the cooperation and input. This has been a very long, detailed budget process. Ron Smith and I have become very close friends. We just appreciate all the work and everybody's efforts. We do realize that it's tough in a growing area to keep up with stuff. But I think that the county employees in the past have kind of that good can-do attitude. We can live within the budget constraints, both old and new, that are put on us, and try to find the best way that we can provide the best service with the resources and money we have. So that's my personal thank you. I don't know if you guys want to make any comments.
Well, I would like to, of course, thank everybody for attending. This is an important part of the year. It's an important part of what we do as commissioners, is to protect the property tax payers and yet ensure all the services are fulfilled in the county. I'd like to particularly thank our clerk, Penny Manning, and our senior accountant, Ron Smith. I think this was a particularly difficult year for them. They worked extremely hard to make sure that we had all the correct information while at the same time implementing new legislation that we received this past year that changed some of their processes. And so we appreciate all the work they put in. And of course, all of the department heads and other elected officials, many of them have very complicated budgets, particularly our sheriff, and we really do appreciate their efforts to help us do what Penny said in her synopsis, and that's to achieve the goal of reducing last year's tax levy while still providing all the services necessary. I think that's what we look at each and every year, is to not collect more than is and provide all the service. So we appreciate everybody's help with that and all the employees for it. Well, thank you.
Yes, if I could. First, agree with everything Bryon and Roger said. And again, to thank Penny Manning and Chief Accountant for the numbered hours of diligent labor that have gone into cleaning and refining and sorting out the budget. I'd like also to thank all of the elected officials for scrutinizing their budgets and refining those. I really think that this budget process is a way to accent how well run the county is and how efficient and conservative it is in what it does. And I think that's put this county in a very good position, especially in the challenging times that we have. And the citizens who elected, all of the elected officials, I think, done very good in choosing who they elected to represent them. And I think they've been well represented, especially in this budget process. So thank you.
I just want to point out the new world we live in, where we can stream these by Zoom. A lot of times we've been in here when we've got the elected officials here because of spacing, but we haven't had many more than that attend our budget hearing, but we had over 40 today. And I think it's a good thing to involve so the employees can get it directly on that. So thank you. With that, we'll open up the floor for close the public input and open the floor for any motions.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion first that we approve the fee increases that were presented to us today and published.
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay, motion and a second to approve any the fee increases that were published. The ones that were published were above 5%. The others are under 5%. So motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to motion that we recover and use the foregone as stated in the budget.
I'll second that.
Just for clarification, that's allowed in the new statute. You can recover up to 1% of your foregone, or 1% of your budget on foregone, and it takes it out of the foregone. But you have to specify a specific reason for it. And this year was pretty critical because most years we have 26 pay periods. That doesn't work out perfectly. And that, what is it, once every 11? Every 11 years, you end up with a 27th pay period. And that helps us get enough to cover that without putting in the rest of our budget in that. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, next I would like to make a motion that we approve the budget that was presented, which also corresponds to our new resolution number 21-09.
Okay. And in that budget, I want one motion because we have to adopt the official salaries, which are generally using the same standard as we salaried employees.
Okay, so I'll make that combined in my motion to approve the budget and to approve the elected official salaries.
And the resolution will be for the budget.
Yes.
Okay,
Chair, I second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So with that, we'll get the resolutions, we'll sign those to recover the foregone and for the county budget. Again, thank you, everybody. Rest, because at the end of closing of this budget year, we plan on starting on next year. So it's a little less frantic for our senior accountant, our clerk, and our other elected officials. Just, it helps us better with planning in the coming year. So with that, we'll call this meeting to a close. Thank you.